President Trump making final preparations for tomorrow night's State of the Union address. This is the president refuses to budge on getting money for the border wall ahead of another possible shutdown.
Would you shut down the government again?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens on February 15th.
And you're not taking it off the table?
Well, I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency. You need a wall. And anybody that says you don't, they're just playing games.
Nancy Pelosi will be seated directly behind Trump tomorrow night. And that's not stopping the president from blasting the House Speaker over her resistance to the wall.
She knows that you need a barrier. She knows that we need border security. She wanted to win a political point. I happen to think it's very bad politics because basically she wants open borders. She doesn't mind human trafficking, or she wouldn't do this.
So, Emily, what are your expectations for tomorrow night's State of the Union, and how do you think Nancy Pelosi will behave behind the president?
I hope that she keeps an impassive face, obviously, for at least the decorum of holding that position. My expectations are, I think it's. I will say I would not be surprised if in it he called on that emergency declaration, if he referenced it and basically said again, look, this is what I'll do.
You're predicting state of emergency declaration tomorrow night.
No, I don't know. I don't want to be held to that.
Okay.
I
don't mean to pressure you.
But I just think, the more that I've looked into it, it's such a viable option. And in large part, just bird's eye view, because one of the reasons for emergency powers is because of the ineptitude and inability of the government to get it done legislatively or not in a timely fashion. Well, that's exactly what we need right now. So unless something drastic happens on the other side, which I don't see because everyone's still playing semantics with wall or barrier or whatever, then what other option do we have?
All right. Juan, you're going to be down in the swamp tomorrow night?
Well, don't tell Mitch McConnell about your idea, because I think the Republicans have been pretty clear to President Trump, don't do it. But I don't think he's going to do it tomorrow in any case. I think tomorrow is really, from what the White House is saying, much more about trying to exhibit the capacity to reach out to Democrats and say, here are things that we can get done. The 5 points that they put out so far include things like infrastructure. Like, you know what? Hey, both sides, we can work on this. We can get something done, right? And so he wants to, I think, especially in the aftermath of the declining poll numbers that were caused by the shutdown fiasco, say, hey, listen, I am trying to work with these Democrats. They're the ones that aren't doing right, and put the pressure on the Democrats. So that's what he'll try to do. The Democrats, for their part, they're bringing 2 illegal immigrants who are working for Trump to sit in the audience to mock him.
Oh, okay. So what's Trump going to call ICE? All right, Dana, the president has usually gotten rave reviews for the State of the Union addresses from the mainstream media. Do the Democrats run any risks, sitting on their hands when he talks about all the great things economically that are happening?
Yes, so I think there's a high chance that you'll have some heckling or some sort of highly staged walkout by Democrats. I think that President Trump will keep his cool and maybe make a little joke about it, and he'll, win hearts and minds back at home. I think that when he is praising troops or certainly talking about the economy and job numbers and unemployment rates, imagine the camera shot then of Senators Harris, Warren, Gillibrand, Booker, there's Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know, whoever else is running for president, and if they're sitting boot-faced, looking like they're unhappy, that's not going to be necessarily good for them, but they have a choice to make right now because they have to see if they can stand out from one another. I also think the 2 big bipartisan pieces tomorrow night will be infrastructure, once again around that loop. But Pelosi and Trump have actually talked that they could agree on that. But the other big one is going to be prescription drugs and some sort of a plan to deal with the high cost of prescription drugs. It is not a conservative position, but it is one that you could get bipartisan agreement.
Was last week infrastructure week?
Every week.
Every week is infrastructure. All right, so Greg, you're not going to be down there.
No, I'm not. Thank God. I'm going to be here, mine in the store. I'll be at the news deck. Just doing my thing. Yeah. This is incredibly tedious, this event. I think they should split into 2 and let Maroon 5 play in the intermission. Wouldn't that be great? You could serve some of your queso. I finally figured out how we can build the wall. Oh. Your queso. Anyway. Oh. When that stuff hard, Jane chips. With this thing though, the SOTU.
Yes.
Is it's time to take stock of the presidency. But it's hard to take stock of this presidency because all the sound and fury of the last 2 years, it's like impossible to sit back and go, this cacophony doesn't really match the deeds when you think about if you subtract the polarizing business model of the media, you have jobs, economy, military, optimism, North Korea, trade, prison reform, all this neat stuff that basically, when you take a look at it, the left should love this guy. He's walking around the planet reducing our military footprint. I mean, if you look at North Korea, Tulsi Gabbard should be thanking him. Syria, whether you're against it or not, he's just very left-wing. Afghanistan, Yemen. I mean, you can disagree with all of this, but the steps being taken, I mean, he's moving away from conflicts. Shouldn't the left be embracing this?
Well, it's everything the left said that they were about, Juan. And now you're against it just because Donald Trump is for it.
And we're for it because it's Donald Trump.
I noticed ISIS fell off your list.
I know ISIS.
Because the intel people said, hey, you know what? They're still there and still trying to kill us.
You can have two competing thoughts in your head. No, Juan, one of it is destroying ISIS. The other one is continue to destroy ISIS.
But here's the thing, Greg.
Juan doesn't like competition.
Oh, I do like competition. But I got to say, the headline to me was the president did sum up his presidency. He said he's the best president ever over those last 2 years.
An understatement, I might add.
Just wait till the next 2 years. Or 6, Juan.
Oh, no.